Hi, and welcome to this webinar where we will be covering the area of B2B, aftermarket, and return logistics, talking about the challenges and our experience. I am Niklas Danielsson from IMI Supply Chain Solutions, and we are a software company with a wide range of solutions within supply chain management, such as warehouse and transport management, order and inventory management. And we have been in this business for over 50 years. And we work with large enterprises as well as fast-growing e-commerce businesses. We have partnered with Intern. They are return experts and the return management platform. And together we have a range of return logistics solutions for different types of businesses. And today we will focus on business to business. IMI focuses on the carrier integration in the warehouse operations and the return solutions, and in return creates the customer journey by digitalizing the return process and in all other aspects, basically. And with me here today, I have Marcus Nordlund from InReturn to guide us through this area. Welcome, Marcus. Can you tell us a little bit about you and InReturn?
Thank you, Niklas, and nice to see you all in this webinar today. My name is Marcus, and representing InReturn. InReturn delivers after-sales services, digitalizing returns, claims, and recircle processes for both B2B and B2C companies. That's the short version.
Well, yeah. So, Marcus, could you describe the challenges that we face when it comes to B2B return logistics?
Yes, of course. During the years, I met, a lot of different B2B companies and learned from their challenges when it comes to distribution and outbound logistics. But the last year, I focused on their after-sales processes. I will today try to share two challenges that we have identified as the main challenges in those processes. And of course, there's a lot of different companies listening in today, and you have different company structures and different challenges. But with this time frame we have today, we need to generalize quite a lot. But I hope you can identify yourself in those challenges and try to apply them on your businesses so that we can learn something today together. Looking into the first challenge, I just want to tell you for some definitions on those roles, so we have some kind of common understanding here. So we can see that we have resellers on these maps, and that could be your own stores or it could be your external stores. We have a sales company, and it's quite common in a B2B structure that you have a sales company structure of some kind that is responsible for a market. A market could be one country, several countries, but it could also be, if you don't have a sales company, you could probably have a logistic hub of some kind who takes care of the distribution, but also the returns from a logistics point of view. And then we have the wholesaler, and that is today the name that represents the parent company. That could be the main company itself, but it's often constructed as a logistics company serving the sales companies. So within this B2B world, we can often see a two-step structure where you have a physical and administrative flow, first between the reseller and the sales company, but also between the sales company and the wholesaler. And why is that challenging? Well, resellers have returns and claims which needs to be processed order by order, and the legal part is your sales company. But on the other hand, your sales company needs to work against the wholesaler company for the full batch of orders, pallets, packages that they are receiving from all the resellers continuously for a specific time period. And the challenge here is both about the logistical and operational process, but also for the credit invoice process. Because reseller needs the credit invoice for their specific returns, but the sales company needs a full credit for the full batch hitting the wholesaler company. That means that those processes are often very manual, takes very long time to administrate, has kind of a low quality built into the management of the tasks. So that becomes a challenge for those kinds of processes. That is the first challenge that we have identified in the B2B world. The second challenge, that is more related to the fact that stores and resellers, after a seasonal break, a change of collection, or other that has with a product related to it, has a need to return products which from the beginning origins from a lot of different sales orders, purchase order batches, etc. And when those mixed pallets hits your sales companies or warehouses, it's more or less impossible to sort it up in a way where you also comply to your legal demands related to traceability, accounting, financial legals, etc. And also bear in mind that the upcoming European Union laws will also increase the need for traceability, how those apply to recircle processes and how that affects your CO2 emissions. So it will be an increasing challenge going forward. Those mixed pallets drives very much frustration. It has a long lead time to take care of them. They have administrative challenges that leads to discrepancies in your WBMS and ERP system. And in total, those mixed pallets are way too expensive to handle. On top of that, you get unsatisfied reseller waiting too long for their credit notes.
Oh yeah. So thank you. I believe many will agree on these challenges. We've seen them, of course. And so what do we do?
Yeah, good question. But let's start with this mixed palette, having that challenge fresh in mind. And I think the key here is to offer the opportunity for the reseller to build the mixed palette as a return basket. And the basis for the return basket is all the sales orders, all the batches they have received during the last year, whatever time period that is relevant for you. So what we have suggested as a solution to this challenge is a self-service solution where the reseller starts with defining what they will return into the sales company. And let's dig into some important capabilities here. And as you can see, the return policy is applied in below. You can see the green surrounding that this product or this example, you have a returnable product. And you can see if those are returnable or not. And that's one of the business value here, that you can apply that and gatekeep products already here. Both from a lead time perspective, you can hinder unwanted returns and claims. Other important features here is that you can search from all the sales order that are available, but also from the product perspective, because it's kind of hard for the resellers to keep in mind what kind of order it was or which purchase order it was, but they know what kind of article it was. So they can also try and search and find and build their basket from a product point of view. And the next step, we try to fetch valuable information in a structured way, making it possible for you to analyze trends, fetching quality issues, fetching return reasons, so that you can learn from that and fetch valuable data that can be analyzed and trigger proactive actions related to quality or purchasing and things like that. One other learning we have from those B2B processes is that, compared to a B2C process, the value of those returns could be kind of high. The refunding amount can be pretty high. And depending on the terms and agreement, it could be a good idea to let the sales company or a seller, responsible seller, to attest the return request. But however, you don't want this to have all these requests hitting your busy sales organization. So we need to have some logic behind this. So to solve this, you can work with attest levels, making them approve returns higher than a specific defined amount before they got the shipping label and further instructions. In that way, you can automate 90% of the flow by letting those 10% that you have a high refunding amount on go via a test function. The next step is to show valid shipping options for your reseller. And that is to ensure a quality assured logistics flow that you control and that is on your terms. But you can still decide whether you as the reseller shall pay for the return freight, or you as a wholesaler should offer the return freight for them, because that is the part of the return policy and will be managed automatically in behind. That means that you can offer this shipping service to the reseller structure out there, but still deciding who will take the cost for it. So now we have a well-defined return shipping order with all the data onto it corresponding to the mixed products included. And we have served the reseller with a shipping label as a service, making all parties happy in the process. So that was the solution for the mixed pallet dilemma. So let's go into the challenge, the first challenge related to B2B company structure, where we have a need for credit notes on different levels for different internal company representatives. And with the process I have shown, we have the foundation for the credit note against the reseller. That was the mixed pallet and the information related to that. But what about the credit transaction between the wholesaler and the sales company? Well, that is managed with help of a return bulk process. And the bulk process is operated by the sales company or a logistics hub representing the sales company. And in that physical location, the returns will continuously arrive from the resellers. The return bulk process allows you to scan those returns into a consolidated return shipment, which will be shipped then to the wholesaler company. But this consolidated return also represents the credit invoice between the wholesaler and the sales company, because we have all the information about the products in it. We have all the values, the pricing, the country of origin, statistical numbers, etc. So we have all the information both for the shipping mechanism, but also for this credit invoice. And that means that we have solved the challenge both from a logistics perspective, but also from a credit invoicing perspective.
Right. Thank you. So, if this is part of the solution, at least, what business value can one expect?
Yeah, I would say that this differs a lot, of course, depending on which kind of company you are and things like that. But let's look into the business value directly related to those challenges and the solutions that we have discussed. And I would say that the automated credit process for both reseller and intercompany transactions is a great business value, because there you have a lot of administrative processes. You spend a lot of time to make it correct, to make both the reseller and the sales company satisfied in different versions. So this automated credit process is really valuable. Then you have a streamlined both reverse logistics process, because you have built in the functionality and features to serve the reseller with things that make it very easy for them to ship, but you control that process, and you can control all the cost around that process, and if it should go fast or cheaper in a more slow flow, etc. So streamlined operational and reverse logistics for resellers and wholesalers. An important thing to understand here also is that you also gain a lot of value when it comes to the wholesaler operational process when those pallets hits the warehouse, because you have all the information about the pallet already registered. We have the shipment information, So it's get a very quality assured and efficient inbound process at the wholesaler when those pallets hits the warehouse from a physical point of view, because we have fetched the information about it. And then we have the lead time, of course, where we accelerate the lead time by automating all those previously manual steps, which will give a shorter lead time to a satisfied reseller, because you will get your money back much faster. And also the credit invoicing process against the sales company will be much faster. So to try to summarize that into more KPI-like points, we have accomplished that we do have accomplished cost reduction on the administrative tasks. We have accomplished logistics cost reduction. We have increased the operational efficiency, and we have decreased the lead time to a happy reseller. And that was the business value related to those specific challenges. But if we look into it from both more from a general point of view, we can see that when you start working with those return processes and try to start enhancing them in different ways, you can gain a lot of business value in different areas depending on what is your pain points, what do you want to accomplish with this change management project that you will go into. And those are some examples showing that, for example, Nudie Jeans, they have very focused on the sustainability part in their supply chain. So, and that's one area where you can gain business value within, both from a transportation point of view and the carbon effect when it comes to the transportations, but also from a product perspective and the product's CO2 effect on the environment, because you can speed up those return processes, getting more products into new sales, but also taking care of them in repair processes, second-hand processes, outlet processes, to ensure that you don't waste the product in the amount that we would maybe do today. If you look into Nordic Nest, that is a totally different example where their only target for this first iteration was to save administration cost in a lot of different areas. It's finance administration, credit invoicing, it's customer service, reseller administration, etc. But it was cost reduction when it comes to administration. And Stadium is one example where they really focused on the reverse logistics and to lower the return cost end to end from customer stores and back to the warehouse until the product is on shelf and sellable again. So it's really important to make your homework and decide, where do I have my challenges? What do I want to accomplish with an automated return process or a digitalized return process, and start there.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot, Marcus. We would like to now invite you to ask questions, and hopefully we could address them. But I can see that we already have a couple of questions, but we will give it a little more time. I think this was an informative presentation of the challenges of the B2B market and return logistics area, with managing the logistics and financial flows across company structures with lack of efficiency and control, as well as some thoughts on how to improve the situation and what it could mean for the business. Let's see. Yeah, so should we maybe start with this question then? We have a question here. Self-service for all the resellers. What do we do if we don't get the resellers on board doing those self-service tasks?
Yeah, that's a really common questions and challenge, of course. And I would say it's kind of easy, of course, to control your own stores or your own resellers. But if you are working with external resellers or stores, it could be more challenging. And In the end, I mean, the first thing you should do is to try to market it and sell it in, because they will get served with this shipping functionality, etc., which will take away some frustration and work which you have today with those things. So it is the service that you need to sell in. But if you don't succeed with that, you can also combine these processes with some routines where you can, because it's kind of common that you work with Excel sheets and things like that between those parties, where the resellers, they fill in some Excel sheet and things like that. And what we can do is that we can provide them with an Excel template, letting them work in an Excel sheet, and then you just load this Excel sheet up. Instead of them typing things in the return portal, you can just upload a batch of returns. But from that point in time, you will get the same process. That means that you can combine both resellers that you have succeeded that can use this kind of solution, but also you can use these manual processes yourself to accomplish the same thing, but in another way.
Yeah, great explanation. And we have another question. I think you mentioned, but maybe if we could clarify a little bit. We have different return policies for our resellers. Do you have experience on how to make it work?
Mm. Yeah. Well, I would say that the sales organizations, they are very creative when it comes to how they sell, and they are negotiating or trying to negotiate in the sales process with help of return policies, how long they should return, how much they should be, you can be refunded if you buy it, etc., etc. And that could often be a important thing for them to make a reseller take a new collection or onboard some new products and things like that. The hard thing about that is that you will probably struggle to live up to those terms, because it's very hard to administrate it and to keep track of it, etc. So I would say that there's a combination here, because we can support customer specific or reseller specific return policies when it comes to terms with regards to freight cost, refunding amount, and things like that. But I would recommend that you will do a homework where you create some standards when it comes to return policies, that you have maybe service level A, B, C, D, or something like that, and put that in the hand on the sales organization, because then you give them the flexibility to continue to have that as a sales argumentation, but you can also digitalize and streamline the administration of it. So that is a really important learning that we have learned going through a lot of projects together within where that question was raised.
Okay, thank you. We didn't get any more questions at the moment, but you will always be able to reach out to us, of course. So maybe it's time to wrap it up, I think. Any final words, Marcus?
No, not more than it's a really interesting area which is kind of immature, I would say. So I had a lot of opportunities in it. So if you have questions, etc., just reach out, and happy to share knowledge and experience.
Exactly. Yes, thank you. So, okay, we end this webinar. Thank you all for joining. I hope you find it interesting, and of course, as we said, reach out to Marcus or me if you want to know more, and we'll see you out there. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.